Hey guys, it's Viger, and if you are watching this video, and if you've been a part of this channel for as long as you have been, you know why this video is kind of a big deal. We've been kind of going into a little bit of a recession here, what with SMG4 retiring back in December. But I told you I was right, wasn't I? That in some grand scheme, that when you're dealing with wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, and breaking down the space-time continuum as your big finale, and you close the portal, I remember specifically mentioning that it is entirely possible for Mr. Puzzles to be spat out into some other universe, some other timeline, and his story could continue on right as it was. And who come in to make me right than ZAMination? I love being proven right, even when I'm wrong, because then it wraps around to me being right. With all of that said, though, ZAMination has gone ahead and done something really crazy. First, they teased that they were doing something with Mr. Puzzles, and now we get to see the fruits of their labor. So with all of that being said, we are going to be reacting to the announcement trailer for their new original show, maybe? Simply titled, Calling All Villains. And a certain Mr. is at the forefront. We're going to be at least going through this trailer once, and then probably poring over it for as much information as we can possibly get. Because as far as SMG4 content is concerned, aside from SMG4 Afterlife, this is as close as we're going to be getting to something official. So with that being said, let's. There he is! Right where we left him! Oh, it's strange seeing him move so fluidly. I'm used to seeing his static Gmod face. But in typical Puzzles fashion, he ain't doing so hot. Calling all villains!
Hi, it's Zach.
Andy.
And Micah. And oh my god, we're making our first original animated series!
Okay, it is an original
Calling
show.
All Villains, starring none other than Mr. Puzzles, originally from SMG4.
Look at him!
Now, obviously, you might have some questions, like...
What is SMG4, and why are we making this show?
And where did the first cat
yeah,
go?
And to answer those questions, let's go to our special guest.
Oh, you... Right, it isn't. I wouldn't expect anything different than just a random loop insert.
Familiar, SMG4 was a long-running, weird-ass animated comedy series I made on YouTube. It started with Mario Machinimas and eventually evolved into something so much more.
Oh yeah.
The show ran for 14 wonderful years, more than half my life, and just recently concluded with its final episode in December of 2025. Zach and Micah were writers on SMG4 and played a huge role in creating Mr. Puzzles, his personality, his vibe, and the weirdly concerning thoughts rattling around in his head. When SMG4 ended, it felt like there was still a lot more story left to tell with him.
Oh yeah.
So I reached out to Zam with an idea.
Hi,
What if you guys made something new, centered entirely around Mr. Puzzles?
It was a very generous offer, and after serious consideration and deep discussion, we finally said no.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. We said yes.
We've always wanted to make an original show.
Oh great, the
on
cat's
ZAMination,
gone.
and
Where'd
we
the
love
cats
Mr.
go
Puzzles,
now?
So we figured this would be the perfect opportunity.
Calling All Villains isn't a direct continuation of SMG4. It takes place years later, following Mr. Puzzles as he's evolved, for better or worse. Luckily,
Probably worse.
You don't need to have seen SMG4 to jump right in. If you're brand new, the show is built so you can start fresh and fully enjoy the ride. And if you have seen SMG4, there are plenty of
it's gonna
nods
take
and
some
juicy
getting used
Easter eggs
to.
waiting for you.
Yep, I'm honestly so excited to see what the Zams will do with Mr. Puzzles in this brand new series. Thank you guys. Genuinely, I...
Enjoy your vacation, Luke.
Say hi to the shark.
That's all we have for now. But remember,
Stay tuned.
We are going to be eating so good. Date when? I need to know when to expect this to come out, people. I does need to know. Not like I need my fix or anything, but yeah, I really need to know when this is going to be coming out because I have a personal stake in this myself. I was there at the ground level when this was put into motion. We all were. I just need to go back with what they were showing here. He looks so freaking good. He looks so good. I actually need to switch this to the bigger one so that we can really appreciate this. But he looks so freaking good. Gmod did not do this man justice. He needed just like a full 3D glow up. He's got so many different ways that his face can be shown. He's got so many different emotions that can be put on now. He's just so much more animated and everything. He was always the more cartoony-ish of the cast. So now they get to put that on full display without being constrained by what Gmod would let them do. And it's so freaking good. They gave him a freaking run cycle, and it's just as rubbery and bouncy as you would think it would be. Because, I mean, when you have the proportions that Mr. Puzzles has, I mean, let's be honest, those are going to be some stretchy legs. It's going to be a very bouncy gait. That's going to be a lot going on with him. But the fully animated screen, that's what I'm really here for. You could actually figure out when he's talking and everything. More detail to his past? Perhaps. It's entirely possible that we could be getting more. They did say, though, this is 5 years on since his escapades in the SMG4 universe. So whatever he's been up to, if anything, I would say 5 years is enough time for him to regress back to default state, which was crazy TV producer, but trying to find his way in this new universe. So there is that. But it does beg the question, though, if he made it through, surely Weapons did, right? Surely Gunhead made his way through. It's entirely possible. He's just as original as good old Puzzles. And if he's calling all villains, I mean, Weapons never really changed his alignment from start to finish. It's entirely possible. Though there is one thing I am noticing now that I get a better look at Puzzles is if you're looking at his exposed ankles, those are just cables. That explains why his body is so rubbery and malleable. He has no joints. It's just wires. As you can see, the cords, they're just kind of like twisted around. Imagine Weapons' whole body fully animated. That would be such a sight. I want him to reload. I want him to just reload his shins and then just go to town. I want to see that. Seriously, I'm just loving like the expressions, the movement. Everything about this is just as high-strung, energetic, flamboyant as I would have imagined Puzzles to be if he was given full emotion, not constrained by what Gmod held him back on. I don't necessarily know what program ZAMination uses for all of their animations, but whatever it is, it's doing very well for Mr. Puzzles. But yeah, he's been, no doubt, he's been going through it for, in his time, 5 years. But you can already see that things are a little bit more on the mature side because of our residential grocery list just being 1, food, 2, alcohol. Bruh's been going through it for a while, and this is not your average everyday kids show. To what degree or age range that this show's probably going to be aiming at, I don't honestly know. Because with these sort of things, it's hard to really figure out exactly the age gap that we're dealing with. Is this supposed to be a bit of a kids show? Is this supposed to be aimed at more of an older audience? No doubt, this has got 2 different audiences in mind. Newer ones that are a new audience that doesn't know anything about any of this whatsoever, and the entire SMG4 fandom as well. Because no doubt, every single SMG4 fan is gonna want to see this. That is without a shadow of a frickin' doubt. They are going to want to see this. Granted, they are going to keep this thing a little bit more grounded, no doubt. And if it's an original show all on their own, this kind of leads back to what to something else that I kind of need to talk about as far as ZAMination is concerned. Very much aware of who they are and what they've been up to and everything. Neither liked them or disliked them in the past, but I always respected their animation style. It's always very high quality stuff. That being said, though, as a almost 34-year-old man, not too drawn to the more kiddie side of the animations, you can clearly tell that ZAMination is all about appealing to a younger audience. Well, with the Fazbear animations, the Bendy animations, all the different little indie shows that are very easy to grab onto as far as a kid audience is concerned with YouTube and stuff like that. But as a man who survived Elsa Gate, I'm always incredibly skeptical of stuff like that. That is taking a property that is kind of more geared towards everyone, that is then turned around and geared straight towards a younger audience. No disrespect to ZAMinations. I just enter into this world with a very skeptical mind. Call it my inner Missourian, but I'm very skeptic to that degree. So to see something like this, to see something from ZAMination of this level with this character and this potential, like I said on Twitter, you have my attention. I've seen so many different fan animations for different properties like Five Nights at Freddy's, Bendy and the Ink Machine, Friday Night Funkin'. Cringe is putting it lightly to that degree, and thankfully ZAMinations has gone out of its way to make sure that they don't cross that line. It's just not necessarily my cup of tea due to the stigma around that kind of fandom and everything. This is a very welcomed change of pace, and I'm not saying that completely because I'm biased to that. I would have been extremely skeptical if they were going to just take Mr. Puzzles and do whatever they were normally going to do. They're just going to self-insert him into the Fazbear and Friends cinematic universe and everything. The fact that he's remaining in his own little bubble with his own little characters and his own little story, that's what I want. That is something that made me go out of my way and finally subscribe to ZAMination, follow them on Twitter, and do all the things that I should be doing with the content creators that I'm fans of, because you've earned my trust. Don't break it. Because Mr. Puzzles is a very... I think I could speak for everybody in the SMG4 universe, as well as the SMG4 fandom. Mr. Puzzles is a very, very special character. A very special individual, to say the least. We were there at his inception. We were there for his entire character journey. We saw the rise, the fall, the rise again, and the redemption of it all. So we were always wanting to see more. The fact that SMG4 gave you his blessing on this, and you have, quite literally, creative control over Mr. Puzzles' story, you have my attention, and you have my trust in this. I'm very, very curious and excited to see where this goes. I really, really want to see this. And this is, again, not because I'm relapsing out of, like, the high I usually get from old SMG4 content and everything. I really want to see what you guys do with this, because I am very, very excited for it. And that's putting it very lightly as well. Already, just with the animation alone, and the little snippet that we have, I really like what I'm seeing. It's just so much more. And it's so deserving of a character like him that has had such an impact on the fandom. There's going to be so many people who have been just ZAMination fans that are going to be seeing this character, and I am going to be so jealous of them because they get to experience Mr. Puzzles for the first time. And they're going to see why the SMG4 fandom holds him in such high regard. You're making every right decision with calling all villains. I'm curious as to what other characters he's going to be interacting with. If it's an original show, I'm going to expect that there are going to be other original characters that are going to be made that Mr. Puzzles is going to be interacting with. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hold on for the possibility that Mr. Weapons is going to be showing up, because both of them disappeared at the same time. There's plenty more to tell with Weapons' story. He's an extremely interesting character. And where it really left off, you can't really continue telling Mr. Puzzles' story without, at the very least, mentioning him. Give it like a Sunset Paradise vibe, where we've taken this character and we've put them into a different situation, but their past history is not completely wiped. It's entirely possible to that degree. Like, in Sunset Paradise, Meggy was still very, very much aware of the entire SMG4 cast back on the mainland. It's entirely possible for Mr. Puzzles to still remember and still be pushing forward with trying to reunite or do something with Mr. Weapons. Whether or not the rest of the SMG4 cast is going to be brought up at that point, don't know. But like they said, there's going to be some good Easter eggs and references for old fans of Mr. Puzzles. And I still think again, like I said, you can't really tell Mr. Puzzles' story nowadays without including Weapons. That's just a rule now. The two are too intertwined with each other. But I'm just super stoked that the guy is at long last getting his own. He got his own several arcs and everything out of SMG4, but he was always the villain. He was always just the end game. He was always just the token villain and everything. Now he's the main character. Now the spotlight is on him. The show's all his now. And when someone that mentally unstable and that driven for popularity in show business, what's that going to do to him? And what's his ultimate goal now with calling all villains? We're just going to have to wait and see. The only criticism that I have right now is that we don't have a release date, even a year or a quarter of a year. We don't have anything to go off of. We just have to sit here and wait, twiddling our thumbs and hoping for another scrap of information. But I'll take what I can get, knowing that there's a future for old static face over here. Which is saying a lot, because his face is a lot more fluid now, as opposed to his Gmod version. Description says later this year. Be more specific, I need to know that. It's still early in the year, so yeah, it's entirely possible that we'll be seeing something in 2026, but I need to know at least a month, maybe. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I've been sitting on this all day, and I'm like, I need to know things. And while I know I've learned a lot about what to expect from calling on villains, I still need more. And also, can you just give me episode 1 privately? I won't spoil it or anything. I'll even fake the reaction. I don't care. Just give me something now. Oh, man, I am so freaking excited for this. But that's where we're going to end this video, so on to the plugs. I'd have to say, check out ZAMinations for all the amazing episodes and animations that they do for all of the different fandoms. Us SMG4 fans have a lot more to be invested with ZAMination now, so get in on the ground level and brace everybody else for the insanity that's coming their way, and we'll just be looking at them on the gallows being like, first time? You ain't seen nothing yet, guys. Mr. Puzzles is going to change your life. Check out PUCL Podcast for meet a bunch of wonderful individuals talk about all things Pokemon. Now that Legends ZA is out in its entirety, I haven't been relapsing into Pokopia as much as possible, and Winds and Waves is on the horizon. We have way too much stuff to talk about. Follow me on X, check out the Discord, buy some poggers right there, and that is it. And with that being said, I'll see you guys when I see you guys, and as always, toodles. I think the major cause for Disney's current dilemma was their acquisition of both Star Wars and Marvel, alongside their push with the live-action remakes. Shelling out billions and billions of dollars for two of the biggest franchises out there, in theory, was a smart move.